This is going to be a super fun, casual party to celebrate your guys' success last week. Announce yourselves as podcasters, drop your podcast link so we can all go in and get the goodness of what it is that you now have to offer the world. And we're also going to answer any questions for those of you that are on the call that are either not currently podcasting or have never podcasted. We can answer questions about what the experience was like and maybe alleviate some of those fears for you as well. Did you guys have fun this week? Those of y'all that were in the workshop? Yeah, was it fun? I feel like fun is one of my core values.
It
If
was
we're not having fun, then
it was definitely so much more fun than I thought it was gonna be
yeah.
because I put so much pressure on myself, but like the group made it so fun just hearing everyone's ideas and the excitement and being in the same sort of headspace, regardless of where we were in the process. So I really appreciated that.
Yes, me too. One of my favorite things too is watching you guys go in 72 hours from day one, like, I don't know, but she says it's gonna work, so I guess we'll see. I'm not really sure how this is all gonna come together to literally day three, 72 hours later, going, I did it! I did it! This is possible. So I'm so impressed with all of you guys and thank you. Yes. If you can't keep it fun, then I ain't going. I would love to hear. I know Callie's on. She's the only other guest we have in the room right now. I don't know. I know that it's like 5 a.m. your time right now. So if you are not wanting to share, that's completely okay. But if you'd like to share where you are at, and I know you don't yet have a podcast, but you want to start one, if you want to share with us a little bit about where you are in that process, that would be awesome. And if not, she's just listening. Okay, that's okay. All right, so let's move into just the celebration. Since we're all here to celebrate you guys, I want to hear from the podcasters. What do you feel like one of your big breakthroughs was this week? Like, what was one of your big epiphanies that you had coming into day one and feeling like, okay, I want to do this and I'm not really sure and I don't know if it's going to work, and then becoming a podcaster? What was an epiphany that you had over the course of the week? And you
I
can
think
tell.
I think that one of mine was I did the course with Stacy a couple years ago as well, and I got really bogged down. And I realized when you were doing yours, I just I can run if I have a path to run on, and then I can take bunny trails. But if I don't have the structure, um, because I think as entrepreneurs we're often doing way too many things. So if we don't have the structure, we kind of go, oh, I'll do this for a little bit, oh, and then that's more fun. And so your date, day-to-day instructions, the prompts, you didn't give them all at once, you just gave them to us as we needed it, but they were easy to follow, they were explainable. And to me, that was an epiphany for me that, oh, I'm not so inadequate in different areas. I'm not even so inadequate in tech in this area because all I needed was somebody actually teaching me how and not just giving me instructions and saying you another. So that just gave me a lot of confidence as I went through, and I really can't believe I've done it. I really can't. It's I've been thinking about it for so many years, and the fact that it took only 72 hours, but with the right coach, the right templates, and the right directions, um, it was easy. I mean, it wasn't, you know what I mean?
Yes. Yay. I love it. Thank you
It
so
was
much. And that was truly from my own experience, a learned experience, knowing myself and how many courses I've taken and classes I've taken and things I've signed up for. and they sit and they teach and they teach and then they say, okay, good luck. And I'm like, that doesn't work for me because then it's just sitting there and I'm never actually implementing. So I'm so glad that that structure worked for you guys. And that means that the way that I feel is the way that you guys were feeling too, of just having the support of being in the room together and working through the process while we're all there to support each other. I think is one of the things that's the secret sauce about it too. It's is great. Thank you.
I want
Awesome.
to, I had a celebration of myself this morning. So I was in flight attendants and I announced that I had just posted my first ever episode on my podcast and that I'm now a podcaster. And they were all super excited for me and cheered and were just, it was so cool.
Yay, good. I love it. Yes, yes, yes. And that's such a good feeling to have your people rallying around you and cheering for you, and it helps us go, yeah, I really did do that, didn't I? That's pretty cool.
Makes
I
you
love
sound fancy. It makes you sound fancy. I spoke at University of Hawaii a couple months ago, and they were going like Nicole Johnson. They said nothing. They had like nothing behind my name, where everybody else had like author, podcaster, da da da. And I'm like, Joshua, I corrected him in the middle of the talk. I'm like, I'm a podcaster, I'm a CEO, I'm a speaker, I'm
There
an
you
NLP
go.
coach.
That's
It
right.
gives you a
That's
little bit
right.
like a street cred, you know.
Yeah. It does. And that was one of the things we talked about in the workshop. It gives you automatic authority and credibility when you have a podcast, because again, so many people out there never get the guts to hit publish or press play. So just the fact that you have the guts to do it, forget even the content, the fact that you have the guts to do it in and of itself separates you from the norm. So amazing, amazing. And so I know that for the few of you on here that weren't in the workshop, you might be wondering like how is that actually possible that you go from idea to published episode by the end? So I have my answer and it's super simple, but I'm wondering if you guys that were in the room this week, if you were to summarize how that was actually possible, what would your answer be?
I can share.
Yeah.
I don't look like a wet dog anymore, so that's good. Thank you for that
Yay,
time.
bangs. So cute.
And I think this was so unique because it was very off the cuff. Like, it
Mhm.
didn't feel like this like pressure. It was like, okay, join if you want. Like, I didn't feel like you like pressured me to join. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, like this is my epiphany, right? This is my time to fucking do the thing and stop talking about it and just do it. But like I think what made it so incredible and like it feels so weird to say this is like we a podcast? Like what? Like I just can't even believe it, you know? Is that like it wasn't too fast. It was like the rhythm, like the I would say like the cadence of it was so on point. It's not even funny. And someone who is neurodivergent myself, I
Mhm.
needed like I needed very focused, right? Like hyper focused is like where we live, right? Many of us. But the
Yeah,
way
yeah.
you did it, it wasn't like I didn't want to run away, if that makes sense. And I've done so many of these cohorts and coaching and whatever, and like you're saying, and I feel the same way. It's like we're all like we're all experts in our own field, right? We're all experts in our own path because it's us. And like
Mhm.
no one can take that away from us. And so it's been really like life changing and I know that it works because I could not stop creating like it opened my creativity to even wider spaces.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I love about that too? It's just like what was beautiful that came out of it that I had no idea or anticipation for was the breakthroughs that you guys were going to have in other aspects of your life or other areas of your business because of the other resources and because of the brand brain and the epiphany vault and the different things that were pulling other things out of you, and you were having all different types of I know of, and I will not share them because they're private, but I know of a couple personal massive breakthroughs that happened this week because of the work behind the work. And it had nothing to do with becoming a podcaster. So that for me is so freaking cool too. Like I am stoked about that because it marries together so many of my own passions and core values of being able to serve and help and bring those things to life in the world. So I love that. Thank you. Anybody else want to share before I do about, yeah, Erin?
For me, what you equipped us with was so amazing because I realized that I didn't have to do this with somebody, although there's value in doing it with somebody, that all the tools are in my hands so I could do it myself. And so many of the times I find that I am limited by my capacity, that I'm always depending, well, can you do this for me so I can do this? And that's not what it was this time, is that actually I have what I need to be able to do what I feel like I'm called to do. And that was just so beautiful. So thank you.
Hey, you're welcome. Thank you. That is so awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, anybody else? So, Wendy.
Yes, I think it's the things behind the thing that are also really beneficial. So you talked about the brand brain here, so I know it's okay to mention that now. But when you're doing the things, you're also getting familiarity with platforms and softwares. So you're skilling up for there's bonus skills that we gained on the pathway to creating a podcast.
Yes.
So
Amazing.
it's a bonus that's just built in. That's part of that cadence that everyone's talking about.
Yes. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And that's a perfect segue too into my reason that I realized when I built this workshop, it was because I reflected back and realized that I tell people all the time, like, yeah, in 2025, I did an international retreat, I published a book and launched a podcast all within 9 months. And then I would tell people from the time that I made the decision until it was executed was 72 hours for the retreat and the podcast. But then when I really sat with that, I was like, oh, it's because I have a framework. And the thing that I think might have surprised some of you was how we were able to use AI tools and still keep our own voices and our own messages. So it wasn't muddied. It wasn't sound. It's not like we had AI scripted podcasts, but we plugged AI in where it expedited the process to be able to help us through those clunky things that before AI existed, we would have spent whole days on some of that. So, what did we do? We identified who is our avatar, who is the person that we're speaking to, who is our audience. We identified our core promise. What's the purpose? Why are we doing this podcast? We identified just the show overall theme and description, all within the first what? Hour and a half. That in and of itself would have taken us a week in the days before the wonderful world of AI, right? So I'm just so proud of you guys. And I'm so proud of how everybody leaned in. The brand brain is something that you guys now have that you're going to use forever in everything and all different aspects of your business and your life. The Epiphany Vault is something you'll go back to over and over again. So, for the sake of time, because I know we have a couple people dropping off here in a minute, before you do, let's announce yourself. I want to hear you announce yourself as the host of your podcast. Who wants to take off and jump in and do what we did yesterday during graduation, but in this group? I'll call on you. I'll call on
I don't
you.
mind going first.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm Erin. I'm the host of podcast Abide and Rest.
Yes, yes, you are. Woo! She's a podcaster, folks. Alana.
All right, bring it in. I'm Alana Murzin, and I am the host of Becoming Matryoshka.
Yes. Woo! Which has its own emoji, which is so cool.
Obsessed. Thank you.
Rita, I know you're driving. Can you unmute?
I think I'm unmuted. So
Oh, perfect.
I'm Rita Dubrov, and I am the host of Midlife in Full Color.
Yeah.
And it's for women 40 plus who know that they have a lot of life left to live, but they don't know how to go forward, and they need to be inspired and cheered on and given the tools to do so.
Yes, I love it. Great job. And it's so awesome. I love it. I love it. Bree, you got this, girl.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm Bree, and I'm the host of Brina's Human Manual, where we
Yes.
share personal stories and curiosity. So I'm excited.
Yes. Good, good, good. I love it. All right. Who else? Who else wants to go? Nicole, you have a podcast. Let's hear yours.
Hi, my name is Nicole Johnson, and I am a podcast owner called Enable to Rise. And I
Yeah.
believe we have everything in our 2 ears to have the life of our dreams. All we have to do is stand. So, who's ready?
I'm ready. Good job. Awesome job. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Anybody else want to share? Going once, going twice. Okay, drop the links to your
Can I
podcast.
can I just say something, Anna?
Yeah.
Think about all of the voices that you created out to get our ideas out of our heads and like out into the universe. Like it's almost like, you drop a pebble of water and then it ripples out, and then people think, oh, well, who would want to listen to me? There's 1,000 podcasts on personal growth. There's 1,000 podcasts on whatever we just said before, right?
Mhm.
But we all have energy and we all have a different perspective and we have language that other people can resonate with. So even if there's two podcasts doing the very same thing, we have to get our words out. And so, Anna, I want to applaud you, honey, for putting your neck out. It's scary. It's scary, right? But not
Yeah.
only did you did it, but look what you did. You got 9 new voices out. And that, imagine, and those 9 voices get 9 voices and 9 voices and 9 voices. And maybe one day we won't be doom scrolling and trying to find the autopsy results of this poor kid. Maybe we'll like be thinking of our podcast and the goodness that we're going to create. So we don't ever have to worry about children on 4th of July anymore. You know what I mean? That's all I want to say.
Oh, it's so good. Thank you, Nicole. You just said something too that I had a huge epiphany of my own in the last month or so that I want to share with you guys. The group has heard it already, but it's a good one to hear again. If you're worried about what you just said, well, that's already out there. Like somebody's already doing that, somebody's already saying that, somebody already has that message, which is something that holds so many people back from doing the thing that they're called to do. The fact and the reality is that nobody does it like you. Nobody does it, just like you said, with your spirit, with your energy, with your essence. Like that is unique and God given and yours to share with the world. And when we sit on it and we never share it, then guess what? It goes to the grave with us. And that's legacy that's waiting to be created. That is something that will live on beyond you forever into eternity. When you are no longer here, people will still be able to listen to your voice and be inspired by your voice. And the analogy that I feel like God dropped into me that made this just totally crack open for me was, what if Pepsi never became Pepsi because Coke's already got that covered? What if Burger King never became Burger King because McDonald's already has burgers covered? But there's people that will now say they will fight to the death that they are a Pepsi person or a Coke person, but they're both massive global billion-dollar industries. The point being, there's someone out there for you that needs you and wants to hear your voice. So having that comparison syndrome, or that I shouldn't because it's already being done, is a lie. And it's just something else to try to keep you quiet and keep you from speaking and keeping you from sharing your voice and your message, which is 100% unique to you. So thank you for sharing that. And that just brought that back up in my memory too. So awesome. Wendy.
That's one of those bonus things that's built in. And I'm celebrating with you because you said it when we first got on the celebration party today. But look at, you've created an avenue to coach people, coach, in the thing that your heart beats for. And everybody wins because everybody ends up with a podcast. Everybody ends up with an asset and something in their hands that actually supports the heart preaching that you have for us. So you're coaching to the heart of the things that's what Anna's all about. And you found a way to do that with something practical in our hands. That's so cool.
Spot on. You're spot on. And that's like the hardest thing about trying to market yourself as a coach, because again, nobody really like understands what it is that you're having to offer. So having this, to your point, be a way to get people in my room so that I can speak life over you and tell you that you're gifted and enable you to go out and do the thing in the world that you've been called to do is such a huge blessing. And I'm so excited to keep so many of you in my orbit, and we're going to continue this. So we have podcast momentum now where we're going to keep going so that we can make sure that this isn't just those, all right, good luck now. You've got your first episode done, and hope you don't become one of the 90% that gives up in 3 episodes. We're going to stay together and we're going to keep going, and we're going to be able to make sure that we have that momentum for consistency that then really puts you in that top of everybody that gets burnt out or gives up along the way. So super excited to see what comes of this and the fruit that's going to come out of all of these podcasts and the relationships that you guys have built this week too. So that's been super, super exciting. Awesome. Heather, I'd love to hear from you because she's like, don't call on me. Since you just joined, tell us a little bit about your experience this week and what some of your epiphanies were and anything else that you might want to share with the group.
Made this so easy. I mean, it was work and it was literally my busiest week of the year. So I'm just now still finishing up my homework. But before we're done here, I'll have it published. Um, but if you hadn't been so on point and SOPs and prompts, if you hadn't been so thorough, I wouldn't have made it past the first day. And this is something that I've wanted to do. I should go look at I've been talking about starting a podcast for at least 10 years. At least 10 years. Well, shit, let me just go look. That's easy to look up. Facebook.
Years.
I just go to my Facebook page. People have actually been asking me to start a podcast. Or even before that, they're like, why don't you have a blog? And I'm like, that sounds like work. But no, seriously, that sounds, and never before in the history of man has it been easier to do so much so fast.
Yes.
So let's see, the oldest, but I still need somebody to tell me how.
That's what I'm here for.
Right? Oh, this is mostly me asking what your favorite podcast is. Well, I'll have to tell you that later, but I've been talking about it for at least since really before podcasts, since blogs. People are like, why don't you have a blog? Why don't you have a podcast? And my daughter and I are very similar. And she's been like, if we did a podcast, it would be gangbusters. We're so funny and cute. So sorry for the angle. But yeah, but no, this was exactly the kind of training that I needed and that I think most people need. I'm going to go silent now. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. I appreciate you. And that was another cool thing about the group this week. It was so many different types of podcasts and messages behind podcasts that are going to impact the world in all different ways. Like we've got so many different bases covered with the podcasts that we have published off of this week. So super exciting. And yesterday, just looking up after everybody's dropping their links and then going on Spotify and remembering that feeling that I had last year after publishing and then going on Spotify and seeing your podcast on Spotify. Like, what? It's real. It's in real life. It's so crazy. So, if you guys didn't catch that message in the WhatsApp, please sit in that and revel in that and look at that icon on Spotify and just let yourself feel all the and all the pride that you actually got this done. Heather, what were you going to say? She froze.
November 2013. That's how long I've been talking about starting a blog or a podcast. And to me, they're the same thing.
Wow. 13 years and in 72 hours, you overcame that. Man, I am proud and happy. Thank you so much. I'm so excited.
Somebody has to be your star pupil. I mean, dang.
Okay, did you guys drop your podcast link? Because we want to make sure. So drop your podcast link in the chat, and that way we can all make sure we go in and follow and cheer each other on, leave comments, rate the show. Took me a second to figure out how to rate a show in Spotify, but you go to the actual show page and then you hit about and you can rate this podcast, or there's an ellipsis, the three little dots. You can click the three little dots next to the podcast and rate this show here for there. But you have to listen to an episode. It doesn't let you cheat. Can't just rate podcasts you've never listened to before. So you got to actually listen to it first. Aaron's Abide and Rest, Becoming Matryoshka in the chat. I love it.
That was smart, Aaron, to make your first podcast a minute 28 seconds. So all of mine are too long. Welcome.
Erin had a different, she's the only one that did it this way, and it's totally fine. She had a different flow. So she has 3 episodes recorded, but she wanted to just do a promo, like an intro episode for the first one, and then she's going to publish her first full episode next week. So it's very cool, but that's why it's that short. And we talked a lot about the length of podcasts this week too. Multiple times it came up. Well, how long does this need to be? And I don't know if I have enough content to talk for an hour. But what if it's too short? And the reality is it doesn't matter. Like there's podcasts out there that are 15-minute episodes, and there's podcasts out there that are 2.5-hour episodes. So it's really it's your world. It's your podcast. You're able to do whatever it is that you feel led to do and that you feel inspired to do. So for me, my solo episodes were only 20 minutes. And I had a little bit of that inferiority complex at first. Like, I don't know, it's only 20 minutes. I got amazing feedback from people that they loved the fact that they could get so much in just a 20-minute episode. And like Dr. B, your audience, I myself am neurodivergent. So I tend to attract a lot of neurodivergence into my world. And we like, just give it to me quick, fast. I just want to get to the point. I don't want all the fuzzy stuff. Just get me the goods immediately. So a lot of them ended up being about 20 minutes, but it's your prerogative, whatever it is that works for you. Season 2 of Epiphanies is now video format, and it's with guests. So those episodes are running more 45 minutes to an hour because they're conversations, but that's okay too, because people are okay with leaning into conversations and listening to 45-minute, hour-long conversations between 2 different people, right? So don't get hung up on the details is the main thing. So if you are, haven't started your podcast yet, or you're looking to restart your podcast, a lot of the things that will hold us back and keep us from taking action or moving forward, or getting stuck and hung up on these little small things that actually don't even matter at the end of the day, that your audience doesn't notice or pay attention to, and that are literally just limiting beliefs or fears that are blocking you from getting your voice and your message out into the world. So we want to stomp on those and crush those and just move forward and take action. You read me. Yep.
I just wanted to add something that I've been thinking of as this whole thing has been going on. And there's so much fear in the world. There's so much fear in people about not being good enough. There's so much fear in so many ways. You take a course and they say you have to post, 3 times a day, if not 9 times a day. Fear. And we're hearing a lot about, our health and our vagus nerve and all of that, and sleeping. And I think what I came to the conclusion with your stuff is that, first of all, you're a calming person, which is a lovely thing. You also, because of the things that you gave us, the prompts and everything that was so categorized properly and given in the right pace, you were taking fear out of every little step. And so when you said we're going to do this, probably a lot of us, without knowing it, we probably had some fear rise. Or how fast are we going to be able to do this? How long is she going to give us?
Yep.
And I tend to speak quickly often, and a lot of people do, and you're just a really tempered person. And so the whole tone you set is like, there's fear mongerers in the world today. They're all over, and you are a fear slayer. And I think you can use that for your advertising somehow. Not using that word necessarily, but just helping those people who don't even realize they have fear yet of taking another course, paying more money for something that they might set aside because they end up not having the time to do it, or they end up feeling frustrated and overwhelmed, and everybody's bypassing them, and the person teaching is going fast and blah, 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 blah. You just rev yourself up. And what happens when we get fear? We shut down. And we don't have that chance to play and to enjoy and to laugh with a group. And so I think that's kind of a golden key in all of this, in all of your course, is just that there is no fear in it. And I know you believe, as I do, there's no fear in love. And I think if we can bring that to people, that calmness of spirit, that hope, and that stretching them without and expectations, because you're trying to get from point A to point Z, but to do it in a way that is just human and just human. So I love that. That helped me this week. I like 3 nights I got 3 to 4 hours sleep, and then I was going to work. So I haven't been running on a lot of sleep, but I still haven't felt frenzied. I haven't had anxiety or anything. So I think that's a key for you in your marketing, to somehow portray that and give that out to people, because it brings hope that not only are they going to give you their money and they're going to spend the time with you, but they're actually going to be able to finish without feeling frazzled.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Brita. Yes, thank you, thank you. And I believe that's who I carry and the spirit within me too. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Appreciate that. And I'll share something about that I'm not good enough message in a second too, because everybody experiences that at some point. So Wendy.
Yes, Brita, I see that you're in the car. So from the WhatsApp, I typed in the link for yours. If you want me to share yours in the chat, I'll do it for you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Teamwork. Heather, I saw you hit publish. I don't know if you can hear me, but whoop whoop. Yes. One more over the finish line. Go, girl. So excited. Amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So something just quickly on that. I'm not
WhatsApp to put the link in.
Oh, it's in WhatsApp, you said? She muted. You want me to unmute? No.
Shoot.
There
Now
you
can
go.
you hear me? God in
Yeah.
heaven. Okay. Before we're done, it'll be in the WhatsApp too. So I did it. Thank you so
Yay.
much.
Good, good, good. So excited. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Celebrate today. Super, super big accomplishment. Awesome. So just one thing about that I'm not good enough message that I always come back to is when I did my coaching certification, I took an intensive year-long coaching program, and there was some heavy hitters in that room, like CEOs of big organizations, CFOs of hospitals, like people that we as people probably look at and think, do they have any confidence issues? Do they ever doubt themselves? Right? Like they walk with that confidence and power. And we did an activity around that specific message, which was the I'm not good enough message, or I'm not smart enough, or I'm not X enough. And do you know that every single person in the room raised their hand because every single person has that message at some point in some area of their life? So when you realize that, you realize it's a global thing. It's not just you, it's not personal to you. It helps empower you to stomp on it and overcome it and know that that's just a fear that's trying to hold you back or lie to you and tell you things about yourself that aren't true. So every single one of you has proven to yourself at this point that you are good enough and you are capable and you are a published podcaster. I'm so proud of you. And if you are not quite there yet and you want to get over that line, I would love to partner with you and help support you in being able to do that and just have one more notch in your belt, proven to yourself of what you're capable of. So, congratulations, you guys. I want to open it up if anybody has any questions, specifically, especially if you haven't hit publish yet or started your podcast yet and you want anybody in the group to give you feedback, we can open it up for Q&A.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about like the Spotify for creators, how easy it was, but also I don't know if it's like this helpful information. It might be. I have no idea. But I started trying right to launch a podcast like weeks ago or months ago. I don't even know how long it's been on and off. And I had multiple versions of my show. Like it was like I like duplicated or something. And I contacted Spotify for creators and they helped me figure it out in like 2 seconds. So
Oh,
I just
very
screenshotted
good.
it to them, because remember I was having issues. So I uploaded it as a video. It was driving me nuts. And so I had to like delete it and like go through all these things. So
Yeah, that's
yeah.
so good to hear. I've never experienced their
Yeah, it was
customer
very
service.
fast. Like literally like 2 seconds. I sent
And it's
screenshots.
free. That's the most incredible thing.
Yeah,
It's
it
this
really is.
amazing platform, and they're not
Yeah.
charging anything.
It's
So
craziness,
very
craziness.
cool. And remember also, guys, in podcast momentum is where we're going to talk about having your RSS feed so that you can use Spotify creators, and that one-stop shop is how you're going to get it out to Apple and whatever else that you want to promote it on or
Yeah.
publish it.
I just wanted to give Spotify another heads up. I've emailed Callcast 4 times, screenshots. I've reset my RSS feed to Apple. He has not responded. I got an email saying, "Oh, that's interesting." And then Claude said, "Yeah, dump him because he's a one-man show where Spotify has like a whole engine, right?" But yeah, the RS my biggest thing for my podcast was the logo because it had to be a certain number of pixels or whatever, and I never could get. It was in Callcast. I was happy, but I couldn't get the RSS feed to click in to work in Apple. I mean, it's click, 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 right? And then my husband's like, ugh, all you had to do is take the freaking picture and tell the picture to be this many pixels that way, this many pixels that way, and then save it. Literally 5 freaking seconds. He my podcast up 2 years. I couldn't get it to go.
Oh my gosh, Nicole Johnson.
I have a
Wait,
master's in computer information systems.
oh my gosh.
Like nice master's degree.
We created our podcast covers this week too, and went from no podcast cover to podcast cover and inside the workshop as well. So that's something else that we take care of. Dr. B.
Where's my little hand thing?
You're good. There you
Okay,
go.
there. So I have a question since I wasn't a part of the group.
Yeah.
I'm interested in the 6-month program that
Okay.
you're talking about.
Yeah.
Could you like recap briefly if that's not inappropriate?
Yeah, sure. So the 6 month, it's a podcast momentum group where we all get together just like this, and it's coaching. So we're coaching through the topics that your each episode is about, storytelling tips, tips on hooks, how to captivate your audience, and then the tech troubleshooting too. As we know, there's different tech things that come up that we troubleshoot together. That is bi-weekly coaching plus the WhatsApp group, and that's available for $150 a month.
Okay.
Okay.
And so my question is how, I don't know if you covered this,
Sure.
how could one use their podcast as a lead magnet
Mm-hmm.
and capture people's emails? Would it be that you offer something with an episode
Mm-hmm.
that they're going to download, sign up for, whatever, something free?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you would do it? Because I'm not interested in having a sponsor. My company sponsors my podcast. But over the time that I've been doing my podcast, I realize because I have this world map, it was fun for anybody that wants to do this. It's like I went out and I got a world map on Amazon and I got flags. And when I launched my podcast, every time I looked at the stats of where people were downloading and listening, I put a flag. And then I built this thing out over time because half the time I didn't even know where these places were in all these different countries because I have no idea about the tech part of how does it get from here to there. It
Uh-huh.
just did, and it does. And I was thinking about what Britta said about earlier about saying something and then it's recorded and it's permanent and it's out there. And I've been doing this since 2017 with my podcast. And
Uh-huh.
I had to make the decision that I have a right to change my mind. I have a right to grow. I have a right to have a different opinion. And
Mm-hmm.
something I said in 2017, it doesn't have to hold today
That's
because
right.
I'm a growing individual. And so that kind of cut that loose.
Yes. In and of itself, right? Evidence of personal growth is awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. And so going back to your question about lead magnets, there's so many different things that you can do. The first thing would be offering a freebie. So if you have something that you have that would be a worksheet or a workbook or something along those lines, you just talk about it and say, click on the link in the show notes to get access to that. And then you're capturing their information right there. Thank you, Brita. Have a good day. That's one way. Another thing that we talked about this week that's really powerful is the reason that I was motivated in the very first place to start my podcast. I signed up for a very high priced mentorship program, and that mentor told me in order to get reach, you have to get on podcasts, because when you get on a podcast as a guest, couple things happen. You get access to their network, but they've already established know, like, and trust with their audience. So you automatically are getting know, like, and trust credibility because they trust you to bring you on their podcast, and then you get access to them. But in order to get on podcasts, a lot of people require a swap to get on your podcast. So there's a lot of groups on Facebook, find a guest, be a guest, that when I tell you I was so overwhelmed, we put one post up seeking guests for our podcast. And I still to this day, this was 3 weeks ago, am getting messages and people asking if they can be on the podcast. That right there is massive visibility because they're looking me up. They're looking at my podcast. They're looking at my profile, seeing, oh, I want to be on this podcast. So simply marketing yourself that way and asking for guests and being a guest is a huge way to gain traction and audience as well. That answer your question?
Yes and no,
Okay.
Well, I heard.
because did I cut somebody off?
No,
I
I was just
think
gonna say I heard give a freebie, a link, an email, a reach, and a swap. So I'll be quiet and hear what you heard, Dr. B. And then I have one addition. I've taken a few podcast classes.
cool.
Okay. So in the original podcast course that I took,
Uh-huh.
the person who had that course took 3 of their top students and interviewed us on their podcast.
Uh-huh.
They've been a podcaster in the world of business, which is not my world, but
Mhm.
didn't matter.
Mhm.
And so it was really interesting to look at the stats of what happened with that episode. And then out of that, they've written a couple of books. They've like contacted me, can I use your story in this book? And on and on. And so lots of things can lead to lots of other things.
Mhm.
It's keeping it all straight about what's the priority and what's the goal,
Yeah.
and I have to keep coming back to that.
Mhm.
What is the goal of the podcast or my podcast?
Yes, that's huge. That's huge. And even just on that call that we were on earlier this week, I know that you're still navigating a little bit of like what exactly you want to be known as and known for and everything else too. So that is a great self-reflection to have of what is the goal? What's your why? What's your big picture? What are you trying to really achieve with this is definitely an important aspect of that too.
And what I'm trying to figure out is you have your 3-day coming up the end of August. You also have your program.
Mhm.
And I'm trying to determine where I fit.
Sure.
Any suggestions?
You're welcome to jump into the group program. I also have one-on-one coaching as well. So if we want to set up a call, we can talk about what that would look like just to do some one-on-one, which is something I have very limited space for, but I have opening right now for that too.
And do you
So
have a link for that?
yeah, I can grab the booking link so we can schedule a call to chat about that.
That'd be great.
Okay, awesome.
Anna's amazing. I had one of her coaching sessions and we had like 30 minutes and she answered my question in the first 7 minutes. And then we had literally had 23 minutes to just be like, what else can you help me with world hunger?
Right.
So the only thing I'm going to add, I think she had some great ideas, a freebie, a link, get an email, reach, and swap. This guy Payman I followed, he says the people that he goes on their podcast usually becomes his client. So when you're on somebody's podcast, they get to like, love, and trust you because they're getting to know you. And so he uses his podcast as a way to get people that he wants to work with to know him. So there's another way that it could be a lead magnet because
Mhm.
you get people that maybe you want to work with to know you. Yeah. And
Mhm.
Anna
And,
actually covered that. So yeah.
No,
and
that's
to add to that, Nicole, is one of the most satisfying things about being on that person's podcast, whose course I took, is I was in my 60s at the time. I'm 75 now.
Holy smokes, girl, you don't age. Gee, what's the secret? All right, sorry,
And
I digress.
it's okay. And I can't tell you how many women in their 60s reached out to me and said, if you can do it, I can do it. It isn't too late. And that was the best part of starting the podcast, of being on his podcast, was to inspire women that are older because it isn't too late. You know, being 75, and people have said to me, oh, it's the fourth quarter, you're going downhill. And it's like, excuse me, not excuse me. It's like, I'm just getting charged up. This is not the downhill side of it.
Uh,
Not that long shot.
I love you. And Dr. B, just so you know, my link wouldn't open up this afternoon, but I am actually free for the rest of today too. So if you wanted to just stay on and talk about what that
Sure.
like, we could do that too.
Yeah, I have time.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. Erin, it was so brilliant and wonderful to meet you and have this experience with you. And I am just undone with gratitude. Thank you so much. Thank you. Man, guys, I'm flying high after this week. That was good stuff beyond anything I could have ever imagined. Wow.